We're going to take a few minutes to review adding and subtracting fractions. A lot of people aren't comfortable with fractions. They don't like adding and subtracting, but they're actually quite a bit of fun. There's really only one important thing to remember when you add or subtract fractions, and that's that you must have a common denominator. The number on the bottom of each of the fractions has to be the same in order for you to add or subtract them. If they're not, you have to go through a little bit of work to find a common denominator to force those numbers to be the same. Let's take a look at a couple of examples that will help us get going and have a good understanding of how to work with addition and subtraction when it comes to fractions. In our first example, we have 1/2 plus 1/9. Now, I look at the denominators and I see they're not the same. This is a 2, this is a 9, and they have to be the same in order to add them together. I'm going to look for the least common multiple of 9 and 2, or the smallest number that 9 and 2 go into evenly, and that'll be my common denominator. The numbers that 2 go into, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and it keeps going, those are all the numbers that 2 go into. The numbers that 9 goes into, 9, 18, 27, 36, etc. And you'll notice I have them listed out on the side here. The smallest one that both 2 and 9 go into happens to be 18. So the least common multiple and my common denominator will be 18. So I have 1/2, and I need that 2 to become an 18. What do I multiply by to get 18? Well, 2 times 9. So I multiply the top and the bottom by 9, 9/9. Over here I have 9, and what do I multiply 9 by to get 18? Well, 2. So I'm going to multiply that fraction by 2/2. When I do that, I now have 9/18, which is 1/2, 2/18, which is 1/9, and now I can do my addition. I have common denominators. Once you have common denominators, just add the numbers on top, the numerators. 9 plus 2 is 11. Keep the common denominator, keep the 18. 11/18 is my answer. So 1/2 plus 1/9 is 11/18. Let's look at one more example with addition. -1/8 plus 1/2. Once again, I see I don't have a common denominator, but the smallest number that 8 and 2 happen to go into is 8. 8 goes into 8, 2 goes into 8. So my common denominator will be 8. Now, there's nothing to do to the first fraction. I'll just leave it be. It already has an 8 for the denominator. The second one is 1/2, and I need to multiply the 2 by 4. That'll cause that bottom to become an 8. So 4/4, that's 4/8. -1/8 plus 4/8. Common denominators are now here. So I have -1 plus 4 is 3. Keep the common denominator of 8, and my answer happens to be 3/8. I'd like for you to try a couple of these on your own. Examples 3 through 8 in the Explorer's Guide are problems with addition of fractions. Give a couple of those a try, and let's see how you do. Okay, let's see how you did. Remember, if you want to see the worked out solutions to any of these, go on the web page under Notes and Home Fun Packets. In the Notes packet, you'll find all of these examples with the worked out solutions. Remember, your answer should be reduced. The answer to number 3 is 3/8. The answer to number 4 is 19/15. Answer to number 5 is 29/45. Now don't forget to reduce. If you have 58/90, you have to reduce that. The answer to number 6 is 23/24. Answer to number 7 is 1/8. And the answer to number 8 is 31/32. Now let's take a look at an example with subtraction. It's actually the same thing as addition. In this example, this is example number 9, we have 1/3 minus 1/4. I need a common denominator. And so I found out that the common denominator will be 12. So this fraction I'll multiply by 4 over 4, because 3 times 4 will give me 12. This fraction I'll multiply by 3 over 3, because 3 times 4 is 12. That gives me 4 twelfths minus 3 twelfths. 4 minus 3 is 1, and I keep the common denominator. So it's really the same thing as it is for addition. Now the following examples, number 10 up through 14, are examples of subtraction. Now I'd like for you to pause for a couple of moments, try at least a couple of them. Let's see how you do on those. Answer to number 10 is 13 over 24. Answer to number 11 is 1/2. Answer to number 12 is 5 over 3. Answer to number 13 is 1 over 9. And the answer to number 14 is 5 over 21. Now I'd like to give you one last thing for today. It's involving fractions. It's not in your Explorer's Guide, so you'll probably have to write it in at the bottom. It's an equation, and the equation is full of fractions. It's pretty exciting, actually. Take a look at this. We have 1/2 x plus 4/3 equals 1/5. And we want to solve for x. We'll just solve this equation like we always do. It's really nothing special. We begin by subtracting 4/3 from each side. So I have 1/2 x equals 1/5 minus 4/3. I just subtracted from both sides. I can do that. Now I'll get a common denominator so I can do the subtraction over here. The common denominator is 15, which means I'll have 1/2 x equals 3 over 15 minus 20 over 15. So I simply found the common denominator so I could do the subtraction. Now, 3 over 15 minus 20 over 15 is negative 17 over 15. So I have 1/2 x equals negative 17 over 15. And now, to get rid of that fraction in front of the x, I just multiply by the reciprocal. Remember, reciprocal is just when you flip it upside down. So I'll multiply both sides by 2 over 1. The 2's cancel out. I'm left with just an x over here. Negative 17 times 2 is 34. 15 times 1 is 15. X equals negative 34 over 15. And we'll do some more work with these tomorrow in class. Ladies and gentlemen, that's everything you need to know about adding and subtracting fractions. All you really need to know: common denominator, add or subtract the tops, keep the bottoms, and reduce your answer at the end.